Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna talk about episode 48 of Maîtresse and I. And oh my god, that stuff was so juicy last night. And before we get into the actual review, I want to ask you guys to subscribe to my channel, hit that bell notification thingy. Also let me know what you think about my videos so I can work on that and get you better videos. And if you guys are ready, I'm also ready. Okay, so the first scene was initially Biram confronting Jalika's dad about not being able to sleep since he heard Raki's mom talk. And Biram actually told his uncle that since he heard her talk, he cannot sleep and he feels like his uncle is keeping something from him. And his uncle tried to twist everything and be like, yeah, and that's all the more reason why you should stop drinking, because, you know, you're imagining things and you're feeling guilty because of your father's death. And you need to know that you are the only one that's responsible for his death and everything. And we all know that Jalika's dad is actually hiding something from him because he just seems guilty. But I think that a lot of people missed, because outside Biram's house there was a man, and if you looked closely you know that this man is actually Alpha, Jor's actual husband that she left behind with their child. And it seems like not only Marem's past is gonna catch up with her, but Jor's past is just waiting around the corner to, you know, catch up. So I really want to know how this is gonna unfold, because two men fighting for one woman is something that's ought to be nasty. The next scene is actually Marem waking up from this bad dream, and it might give you the feeling that whatever happened between Lala and Philly confronting Marem, that was a bad dream, or that was fake. But that was not fake, and I want you to understand that that was real. But I think that everything accumulated, and now Marem is having, you know, bad dreams and nightmares. And the next scene was actually a flashback where we get to understand that Hamid is Amsa's ex, and something happened because we saw a lot of blood. But I think that the main thing is that they blamed Hamid for whatever happened, and that he actually went to prison. And that is what you know, Marem has sacrificed in order to save Amsa from a bad situation, because maybe Amsa was the one that was guilty. So I think that, you know, it's just something to show us that Hamid is back to, you know, get revenge on whatever they did to him. So because Marem's mind is not 100% and she's not 100% available also, her work is lacking. And so mommy was actually mad at her and actually telling her, you know, you're always thinking that you're the only one that has problems, and since you are a second wife you're lacking and everything. And they actually fought, but Jalika came in and Marem got a different type of petty, because she started saying like, well, at least I'm married and you're still unmarried, and maybe you need to explain to Jalika why her dad did not marry you. And that is like, I mean, that was totally unnecessary. In the next scene you actually see Lala and Sheikh have a really good moment. And I think that this scene was really important for Lala, but also for other people to know. So what happened was Sheikh took it upon himself to actually thank Lala for being enough. And he also reassured her, you know, I want you to know that you are enough and that I love you, and you cannot know how much happiness you bring to my life and everything. So they had that moment, and Lala was actually admitting to him that, you know, it's really good for me to hear that, because with everything that has happened I did not feel that the way you meant for me, like how much you meant for me, that I did not mean as much to you. And Cher told her that, you know, Lala, whatever we have built and every feeling that we had for each other, it does not just go away in one day. So I want you to know that I really love you, and whatever happened, you know, it happened, but that does not mean that I loved you any less. So I think that that was really important for Lala to hear. And they concluded everything with I think that Noura needs a little brother or sister, and they even joked about it because Lala was like, yeah, because Noura, she thinks that you can just go to the market and actually buy a baby. But I think that overall that scene was really important, because I don't think that men in Senegal that marry a second wife, that they don't feel like they owe their wives an explanation. And it's not really an explanation, but I think that it's more like a reassurance that, you know what, I did take on a second wife, a third wife, or a fourth wife, but that does not change anything that I have ever felt about you, and that whatever we built, you know, it's still there and I still love you. And I think that maybe those words, you know, or that scene, if every man would have done would do that, that a lot of wives would be just still happy, because Lala literally told him, you know, it is good for me to hear that, because I thought that you know, as much as you meant to me, that I did not mean as much to you anymore. So for her, it was more like, so I love you, but you don't love me back. In the next scene, you see that Jalika is, you know, telling mommy that she's actually disappointed and hurt. And she's like, yeah, but you should have told me and everything. And mommy is actually saying some pretty good things out there, because she's like, yeah, but I saw how you treated Marem when you found out that she was, you know, messing around with Cher. And I saw how you treated Jor, and I did not want to be treated that way. And I did not want to, you know, flush our friendship down the drain by, you know, telling you that I was dating your dad. And she also added that she should confront her dad also. So, and also she begged for a second chance. So what happened in this scene was Raki actually explaining to her mom that Mustafa sleeps on the floor and she sleeps on the bed. And they actually talked a bit about Mustafa, and they both recognized that the way Nene thought about Mustafa was only because she does not know him that well. And then Raki continued saying that, you know what, that your choices, you made your choices because you did not have a choice, and I actually do have a choice. And because I do make my own money, I can take care of myself. And her mom actually voiced her concerns, because she was like, yeah, but I don't think that Mustafa is going to marry you, because he actually makes less money than you. And when women make more money than a man, they can feel, you know, inferior or less manly, like fragile masculinity. And I think that she's right when she said that. But then Raki just, you know, told her mom that Mustafa actually wanted to marry her and to make her a wife and everything. And then to everybody's surprise, this woman just jumped up and she started dancing and singing in her halpulaar and everything. And I was like, are you serious? Because she was so negative about him. And then Mustafa came in and she was like, oh, Mustafa, my son, I can't wait for you to be my son-in-law. I want to be your partner in crime, some accomplice. And she said, you're my son. So I think that Mère Poulot, or Nene, which actually means mom in halpulaar, is finally approving of their union. And I want to know why, because I think there's something sketchy about that also. And he was actually, in the end, he was saying that, yeah, and I miss you. And if you want, you know, everything to be over with, I want you. So I think that he just wants to sleep with her and then everything will be over with. And he actually concluded with saying that, you know what, Mariam actually sacrificed her life to save you, and I think that you should now sacrifice yourself to save Mariam, because we do not need to forget that he has Mariam's tapes, you know, and he's basically asking for to sleep with Amsa, and then everything will be over with. But I don't think that's gonna be that easy. So I think that even if she's gonna sleep with him, this is not going to be over with. So we'll see how this mess is gonna clean itself. Jalika followed mommy's advice and actually confronts her dad, and her dad is just denying everything and be like, no, I don't know mommy. Who is mommy? What do you want about mommy? What did she do, mommy? And I was like, oh my god, are you seriously? And then, you know, he starts to change or turn the tables and be like, yeah, Angelica, you think that you're so perfect, and whatever I do is none of your business, and you need to stay out of it. And I think that her dad just spoke with such an arrogance that Jalika actually got mad and told him that, you know what, this is why you disgust me, because since I was a young girl, I've always heard stories and people say that, you know, your dad, he only chases girls, like young girls and everything. And she also tells us, or her dad, that, you know, first it used to be my classmates, the girls that I hung around with from the neighborhood, and now my colleagues, my friends and everything. And yeah, so that was her thing. And she actually told him that, you know, I never thought, you know, that dads were supposed to behave like that. And I even got, you know, friends that did not want to hang around with me anymore, or people in the neighborhood that did not want to hang around with me anymore because of how you behaved. And I thought that one day you would change, but apparently you haven't changed and everything. And then her dad says that, yeah, but I need you to know that your dad loves you very much. And then Jalika said the unthinkable, that no Senegalese child will ever say to their parents. And she was like, yeah, I hope that my sperm donor, because she used the word géniteur, which literally just means sperm donor, and she just called him that, and she said that my sperm donor, you effed up my life, you messed up everything, and you don't even deserve to be called a dad, and I hope you die painfully and slow. Then you see mommy actually reminiscing her friendship with Jalika, and she is getting like a bread knife, and we all know what is going to happen, because I told you guys in the previous review, mommy is going to need another therapist, because she is not going to be able to handle this. And the fact that Jalika, you know, knows about her dad and is actually disappointed and everything, that's also not helping her mental state. And I don't even think that Jalika knows that she had a therapist. So in the next scene, Philly is actually talking to Hamid, and this is where you know that the scene in the previous episode was real and not a dream. And they're actually talking about, you know, destroying Mariam, and Philly is actually telling Hamid that, you know, we both want to destroy Mariam, and we need your help and everything. And Hamid is actually saying that, you know what, I'm not interested in a girl's fight, and if you want to destroy Mariam, you can do it on your own. And then Philly makes a counter offer and be like, you know what, money is not a problem, we can pay for anything you want. And he's like, you know, I'm already rich, so money is not an issue for me. And then she offers him a front row seat to Mariam's downfall, and that is where he gets interested. And then he makes another counter offer, and he's like, you know what, I don't want only a front row seat, I want to be I want to play an active role in her downfall. And then they just start talking about stuff, and Philly's like, you know what, I don't know what you're talking about, so I'm not going to agree to actually be involved in something that I don't know anything about. So yeah, so we'll see how they are going to come to a conclusion, because oh my god, Marem's downfall is gonna be hard, you guys, because these people ganging up together and conspiring against Marem, like Amsa and Marem alone cannot handle this. So okay, so in the last scene you actually see Marem back in Lala's room, and they are actually exchanging some words and everything. And Marem is basically saying, you know what, I'm not gonna watch you ruin my life. And Lala is saying that, you know what, that's none of my problem. You got yourself into a mess and you get yourself out of it if you just be clean with Cher, you know, and just get yourself out. And she also added that, you know, I know my husband, and I know that if you would come clean to him, or if he has knowledge of whatever you have with your sex tape and your photos, then you probably might lose him as a husband. And then Marem started to change the conversation, or you know, like the focus, and she was like, yeah, but you know that if Cher finds out, you will lose more than I will. And I was like, what? Because that does not make any sense. And then Marem actually Lala was actually saying that, oh, so are you scared now? Where is your big mouth? Did you lose your tongue and everything? And then Marem said something really sinister. She was like, you know what, accidents are in every corner, and you need to be really careful, because something might happen to Noura, and you should watch her really closely and everything. And oh my god, I think that Marem is now forgetting that if something happens with Noura, that Cher is also going to get hurt. That's one. And two, if Lala and Cher would lose Noura, for example, then Cher will have less attention for Marem. Just like when Lala was actually sick, because he did not go on a honeymoon, I believe. He did not even consummate their marriage, and he just left Marem for what she was, like on the sidelines, and actually spent all his time worrying about Lala. So I don't think that she has thought that out really well. So I really hope nothing is gonna happen to Noura anyway. Thanks for watching. Let me know how you think Jor's past is gonna catch up with her, and how do you think that Jalika's father is going to, you know, trying to get Jalika back into his life. And do you think that Marem is bold enough to, you know, let anything happen to Noura? So let me know below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I guess I see you guys on Friday or Saturday for the next episode.